Young Tommy Elliott was a childhood friend of Wayne, who also grew up in wealth and privilege. However, Tommy soon became deeply jealous and resented Bruce once his parents were tragically killed. Seeing Bruce as getting his independence and wealth Tommy so desperately desired. Eventually becoming a surgeon, Tommy's resentment for Bruce continued to fester and grow over the years. When the Riddler discovered that Bruce is really Batman, he approached Dr. Elliott with the secret. But when the two realized they shared a hatred for Wayne, they joined forces. Wrapping his face in bandages to hide his identity, Elliott manipulated many of Batman's greatest supervillains in a grand conspiracy to defeat him, hence his chosen identity of Hush. What's going on, guys? Multiverse here with yet another action figure review video, and today we're taking a look at Hush by McFarlane Toys. Starting off this video, guys, we're of course taking a look at the beautiful McFarlane Toys packaging, and it is of course that traditional black, white, and blue with the open face window, seeing Dr. Thomas Elliott front and center with DC Multiverse on the front of the packaging, as well as Hush's name at the bottom. Flipping over to the side, guys, we see Hush from Batman Hush, one of my all-time favorite Batman storylines. Flipping over to the back, guys, is a beautiful dark image of the figure, and I absolutely love this product shot. And you can tell that it is the figure because you can actually see the notches in his elbows. So this is a product shot and it does look beautiful. Flipping over to this side, guys, not really much going on other than DC Multiverse again and Hush's name once again. Nothing at all going on at the top. I would show you guys the barcode, but it's a sticker of another barcode that I cannot get off. So unfortunately, no retail barcode for this guy. With all that said, guys, let's go ahead and rip Dr. Elliott out of the packaging and see how he looks. So right here, guys, is Hush, fresh out of the packaging, standing straight up and down on the rotating turntable. And for my first-hand impressions on this figure, I think he looks pretty darn good. However, and once you get past the looks, it's kind of really. He's kind of really stiff, and there's only so much he can do in terms of flexibility, in terms of, you know, his ab crunch or his waist swivel, because that trench coat really gets in the way. And you guys will see what I'm talking about when we get to the articulation points. But from my first-hand impressions on it, I really do like it. I think it looks cool. I love Hush as a character. He really mentally tortured Batman throughout the Batman Hush storyline, and it's why it's one of my all-time favorite stories. However, this in figure form, he looks great. But once you take him off the shelf and start messing with him, he kind of starts to dwindle out, and you'll see what I'm talking about later on. With all that said, though, guys, let's go ahead and take Hush out of the spotlight and take a closer look at the accessories that he came with. When it comes to the accessories, guys, Hush unfortunately doesn't really come with much. Actually, he comes with really nothing. He does, of course, come with the standard McFarlane base with DC's logo just stamped right there, front and center. It also comes with his trading card, which is the same image we saw on the back of the box. Flipping over to the back, guys, is the lengthy read-up. If you want to pause the screen and read it right now, always give you guys that little bit of a second. And this is where it kind of is like, this isn't really what he used. I mean, he had the dual pistols that he was using. However, I guess it does make sense for him to have blades, being that he is a surgeon. Yeah, that's really the only thing. I don't really remember him using a knife. I remember him having a knife, but I just remember the iconic image, that one right there, of him just holding the two pistols just side by side, and that's what I wish we would have got. I cannot wait. I know it's all things come to an end, so I cannot wait for this no guns thing on figures to get lifted, and then McFarlane can give us what these characters actually use in the comics. I know I could buy a McFarlane munitions pack, however, I can never find one, or I really just don't want to spend $15 on just like 10 guns in a pack. And yeah, with all that said, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the accessories and take a closer look at the detail. In terms of the detail, guys, Hush is beautifully detailed. Starting off with the head sculpt, guys, they do detail every single strand of his bandaging around his face, and it does look incredible. And I do love how you can see some of his like skin tone piercing through. That could just be a mistake in paint. However, I'm going to chalk it up to some of his skin going through. Maybe it's not a perfect wrap, and it does go all the way down to the neck, and it does look beautiful. I even love how you even has the little detail of his necklace around his neck, and or even how you can see like his utility sweater piercing through, and it is fully detailed as well. It does look amazing. Now taking a look at the entire trench coat, guys, I absolutely love this trench coat. I do love how it is a soft plastic, so it actually moves when you're wanting to articulate this figure. However, it still gets kind of in the way, but it does have a lot of give. That way you can still get some of that beautiful articulation from McFarlane Toys, although this one is lacking a little bit, and you guys will see what I'm talking about later on in the video. Flip it over to the back, guys. Even more wrinkles and more detail into the trench coat here. Now, me personally, I would have loved to see like some damage on here. I'll probably go through and put a little bit of damage throughout the figure. However, I do love how it looks, how pristine this looks. I would have loved some more paint going on here to really separate the trench coat. Like the little button back here, if they would have painted that black, that would have been cool. That would have been a very nice asset to have on here, just to show that that is a button sitting on the back and it doesn't blend, because if I just kind of look at it, I might miss it and miss that detail, but it is there and it does look beautiful. And then last but not least, guys, if we go ahead and lift his trench coat up, let's go ahead and get those arms out of the way. See if I can lift it up far enough for you guys. I do wish that McFarlane would have showed a little bit more love towards the inner piece here for the top of his trousers here, because there is no zipper seam or anything like that. No buttons, no belt. It's just the rubber diaper going across the figure, and even on the buttocks there is no back pockets within it. However, once you get down to the rest of it, it is beautifully detailed and looks amazing, especially down here at the boots. I love seeing that he's got the little knee and like shin guards on top of his boots and the little laces on there. He does look amazing. With all that said, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the detail and take a closer look at Hush's size, his articulation, and jump into some size comparisons. Starting off by how tall Hush stands, guys. Hush does stand, looks like to the top of the head, exactly 7 inches tall. So he's, of course, that standard McFarlane 7 inches. Let's go ahead and move him off of his base here. Move him closer so we can get into some articulation. When it comes to articulation, though, guys, this guy is very, very lacking. Like you heard me say at the beginning of the video, his head articulation is there, so he can look up all the way and look down as well. He is on a ball joint, so it does rotate all the way around and get some beautiful head tilt in there. When it comes to his arm articulation, guys, his arms go out about that far, and he doesn't have a butterfly joint, but he can move, hinge back and forth a little bit. He does, of course, come with a bicep swivel and double hinged elbows. And it comes to his wrist articulation, they are on a ball joint, so they do hinge up and down and rotate all the way around. Now, when it comes to his ab crunch, this is where the figure has basically, or actually none, because you can't even get him to lean forward at all, and you can only get him to lean backwards, but it's not from his ab crunch, it is from the waist joint. The waist joint is there, guys, so you can rotate it all the way around, but you do have to fight and get around this trench coat, which is really just in the way at this point once you get farther down here. So especially if you want him to be in like a mid-walking position or something like that, you won't be able to tell at all. Let's go ahead and lift his arm up and then lift his trench coat up to see that he does come with double hinged knees. And as for his ankle articulation, he does articulate down, he articulates up, he has toe articulation, and he does, of course, come with that beautiful ankle pivot. Starting off with the size comparison, guys, here we have Hush standing next to his BFF Bruce Wayne, and this is the Michael Keaton Batman, who does scale beautifully with Hush. Jumping out of the DC Universe, guys, and right into the MCU, here we have the Tom Holland Diamond Select Toys Spider-Man, and as you can see, the scale here works beautifully. And last but not least, guys, here we have Hush standing next to the MCU's version of Sandman, and as you can see, it simply does not work. Alrighty, guys, and there you have it, another action figure review video in the books on my channel for you guys to enjoy. When it comes to my final review on the Hush action figure, I'm gonna have to give him a solid 6 out of 10. I really do love this figure, and I do think he is a great looking figure. However, it's just the articulation. So if you collect figures in terms of playing with them, you're only going to get so much out of this guy. But if you're like me and you collect him solely off of eye candy alone displayed in your toy room, then he's going to be a phenomenal addition to your collection. With all that said, though, guys, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. We try to put up at least 2 videos a week for you guys to enjoy. With all that said, though, guys, I'm getting out of here, and I will see you in the next video.